I think I go down to Venice Beach, bury my head down in the sand.
The project as proposed is a zip line which would run through Windward Plaza, just west of Oceanfront Walk, and would be approximately 600 feet in length. It's supported by 2 towers. One tower, which would be approximately 50 feet in height, would be located at the north end of Windward Plaza, and within the zip line would continue south to the landing tower, which is approximately 25 feet in height, and would be located just a little bit north of where the basketball courts are now at Windward Plaza. For those of you that would like to have an idea of where this is located, I have a diagram here that shows a conceptual location. This actual location is still being considered for its actual location, but this is very, very close to what it would be. Shows the 2 towers and the zip line in between. You can see the aerial photograph underneath of Windward Plaza, so you can pick out your favorite landmark and kind of see where this would be located. For you to come up and look at this and use it in your comment in any fashion you like. The other diagram I have shows a schematic engineering drawing of, I believe this is the launch tower. Yeah, it's the launch tower, which would be the taller of the 2. These are freestanding towers. They are not permanently anchored in the ground other than with guy wires. Keep it from the top of them over. When the towers are erected, the guy wires, there's been a proposal to put some material around the towers to control access to the towers. There's been talk of using these as a possible palette for some local artwork. There would be no advertising associated with the attraction. That's it, pretty much in a nutshell. So what we would like to do at this time then is bring it back to Jim, and he'll guide you through the comment part of it.
Whether approval of this project would be consistent with the policies of the Coastal Act, and that our preliminary analysis is in this report, and our conclusion is that it would be consistent, and our preliminary recommendation is approval. So at this point, I will go to your comments, and I'll take the speaker cards in the order they're received. This is a small room, so you can probably just stand up where you are and speak. If you would please start by stating your name clearly, and if you represent a group, identify the group.
I am not in favor of the zip line, I guess it's called. I grew up in Venice, and you're not considering the people who are still in the community. You're not considering the older people who has to have their grandchildren visit, and on Sundays they may not be parking for them to visit their grandparents who are aging now, who has helped build the community. You're not considering that on Sundays there are a number of churches that people have attended Sunday services for generations. There are many things you're not considering that will interrupt the normal life of people who have lived in Venice, and some are still there. So I am not in favor of it. Also, I don't know if a 10-year-old can go and get on the zip line. The children who go to the playground there, sometimes they're left there just to play around. I don't know if they can just go and get on the zip line without their parent consent. I don't know any of those things, and it has not been explained. So I might have more to say, but then there are other people who has to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
The individual will be 75 pounds or more. and the age restriction is currently at 8, and it's with parental consent. So 8 years of age, or 75 pounds, and with parental consent, or guardian. I just wanted to have the chance to clarify with the layout and provide a bit of information. Greenheart, the towers that you see have been built in parks and protected areas around the world. Greenheart was recently received a proclamation from the city of Las Vegas for donating $200,000. We received our own day, June 20th, in Las Vegas for the work we've done to work with local charities, to support Boys and Girls Club, other charities, Opportunity Village. Our goal here with the project, first on the layout, we slightly changed the layout because we found that with tree height, we would be able to minimize the impact and make sure that we had no impact on the trees by taking this position. There'll be 3 lines running. The reason we ended up in Venice Beach, just to be clear, is we've been working with some Venice artists and developing an aerial performance. They wanted to look at how to bring that performance back to Venice Beach. The Parks and Recreation were looking for ways to generate revenue. So we responded to that opportunity, a way to generate revenue for the community, a way to work with parks, and a way to create performance, working with performers, but also offering classes for the local community center and kids, which would be subsidized or paid for by funds from the operation. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone clearly understood Greenheart works in parks and protected areas ranging from Rwanda to Boulder City, Nevada, to the University of British Columbia. We have a long-standing reputation of doing things that actually have a positive impact, and we hope that we'll be part of the community. And our presentation is very much open to comment. If there is any information that you don't have, we'd be happy to respond. Thank you.
I'm totally against this project. I've never done something like this in my life. I don't think you're being realistic. Number 2, what about parking? Where's people going to park? Parking is definitely not available right now, especially in the summer. Number 2, it's a very dangerous sport. You're talking about a very, very close encountered environment. Yes, I can respect what you want to do. Go to an enclosed area where it's just designated for something like that. Not when you have 500,000 people that are coming to this area. Number 17 on the list. I live in the community. I've lived there for almost 30 years. Please, pick another area. I'm not against it, but I'm not for it in the area that you're choosing to put it in. It doesn't make sense.
40-year resident of Venice, and I'm against this as well for many reasons, but just looking at the environmental impact report first, it says permitted development shall be sited and designed to protect views to and along the ocean and scenic coastal areas. Yesterday, walking down the ocean front, what you see are the beautiful palm trees, etc. We don't need to have these structures there. They are an imposition. 2, when we got down to the area where they said they're putting them, we were trying to see a sight line where you wouldn't have to cut down some palm trees. I hope you're not intending to do anything to the palm trees, but it looked like there was no way that you could actually put 3 lines across and go down. I would suggest everyone just go look at that. So the other parts of environment which were brought up were 1, parking. Right now, the Rec and Parks does a great job, by the way, of bringing in those individual events on weekends. We have the Hare Krishna, motorcycle, environmental. They're there for 1 weekend. If you're there on that weekend, it's terrible for parking and everything. We abide by that. The stakeholders and citizens of Venice abide by that for the weekend. But to have this 3-month, or as Rosendahl has now stated, permanent, it changed from 3-month to it was on the news today, Channel 4. He wants it permanent. That's going to be just terrible for the residents and anybody that comes here. 2, we'll close Speedway. You might as well close Speedway in Windward from gawkers, not even people parking. They're going to see people flying across. They're going to stop. That's going to close those streets completely. You think that there's something you can do about that. There's nothing you can do. And then we have created The first or second largest tourist attraction in California. The stakeholders, everybody here that lives here. We've done it without zip lines, without Ferris wheels, without advertising. Why? Because that's why it is the second. People want to go to Disneyland, they'll go to Disneyland. People want to go to Hollywood. If you've been at the Grauman 6 lately, what a zoo down there. You go there if you want to see the beach, if you want to relax, if you want to see some guy throwing knives in the air. You come to Venice. That's what you do. You don't come to go on a zip line. And we cannot afford to have the additional people that are coming here to just take it. And this idea of we're going to get money, we heard about Las Vegas, it's great. If you've ever been to Las Vegas, you have money flowing out of your pockets. You see people throwing money all over the place. $20 for a 40-second ride. I question the business model on that. People come here with $20 to get 10 t-shirts. Or 5 pair of sunglasses. They don't come to Venice to ride for 40 seconds. So whichever way, if it's a success or a failure, we lose-lose either way. And I think it's a terrible idea. We are bound. I mean, I feel bad for the rec and parks. Here they have these millions of people, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people here, and they're not making money. They got to spend money. And they are now being tasked by the city. You better make money here or else. And we've had for-profit signage, we've had a 21-story Ferris wheel, we've had all sorts of proposals to make money. I feel bad for Bill too. He's being held hostage by the city council. Hey, make money for us. You've got the second largest tourist attraction out there. Well, we have it because we don't make money, because it is all free. Thank you.
A good Venice discussion. I just like that energy that I just heard there. I hope you like it. It's going to be a 3-month pilot. If it works, we'll put out an RFP and we'll see who will apply for it and where it will go. When it was first brought to me, I was looking at all the emails on the Ferris wheel, and I said, well, if this does come about, which I'm not taking a position on that Ferris wheel at this point, I kept looking and seeing the one over there in Santa Monica, and I kept looking back like this, but on the other hand, Venetians had a lot of questions. So I figured that might take a year for those questions to be resolved, but there's still an interest in that. In the meantime, the zip line people came to me by Rec and Park, set up this meeting, Kevin Regan, and I sat there and saw a simple tower up, a simple tower 750 feet down. I saw the idea of flying like a bird. I've been on the zip line before in Costa Rica, and you know, in a beautiful jungle scene. They said they would handle the insurance liability issues, that they have them all over the world. They were quite impressive with how they made their presentation. And then what was the sort of the clincher for me, they said, and we always share our revenues with the local group. I said, So we heard the figure 20% as a start on this thing. And I turned to Rec and Park and they said, folks, I got to clean my bathrooms, I got to empty my garbage cans. The monies I had before to do that, I don't have anymore. But as you know, I opened up those bathrooms until 10:30 at night instead of closing them at sunset. We all have to go to the restroom, you know, and it needs to happen. Just like I'm upset with the Expo line, they have no restroom facilities at the stops. I'm going to make them do it, at least when it hits my district, for God's sake. People have to go to the restroom. Venice Beach is the most tourist beach in America, and I dare say in the world. We have 13 million people coming to our summer and through the year round to enjoy the beach. And I don't want to see overflow garbage cans. I don't want to see filthy bathrooms. And this will help us with that. But the first thing is we hope it's fun, that if there are any negatives, we work that out in the 90 days, or the 90 days is it and it's over. When is it going to start? It goes like this. It goes through the city process now. Then it will be scheduled at the Coastal Commission. The Coastal Commission will hold a hearing, and I'm telling them I want the hearing in LA land, not up north. So if people want to go, it will be convenient for them. And when we get the Coastal Commission support, assuming we can get that, and we've gotten the city support, then it will be able to go up. So the timetable keeps moving. It might happen before the Labor Day weekend. That's my hope. and then the 90 days would stretch for 90 days. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, we're not going to go forward with it. But I think I'd like to give it a pilot chance, give it a shot, see what it's like, see if the screams are screams of joy that people can enjoy rather than noise, and that the people on the beach looking up might have some fun too. But it could be an exciting plus, but it's a good opportunity for us to try something and see if it works. Yes, ma'am?
As far as the bathroom and the beach being clean,
Yes.
people who does community service, who has tickets or some minor thing, they're out there cleaning the bathroom every day from 6 o'clock to late evening. And so they are people who are from the courts who are cleaning the bathrooms. And I think you will find most of the bathrooms are pretty clean, and they're there. So usually when these things happen, the people who have lived in Venice for generations, they do not get any reward from this kind of effort. The people who get reward from this kind of effort, who are people who are higher ups, who knows how to bring in money and get money. The community never get any reward from this kind of effort. Only people who know how to go to Costa Rica and to Las Vegas. So we are not sophisticated. We are hardworking who are reared our children, and now we can't enjoy the Venice community.
In Costa Rica, how long was the zip line ride?
Oh, I don't know. It was going through the jungle.
Okay, so
it was like an amazing moment.
Yeah, so it wasn't like 40 seconds or whatever it is here.
This is what, a minute?
I think 30 or 40 seconds.
Oh, where's the promoter? Yeah, how long of it, I think, is it?
It's about 40 seconds.
About 40 seconds. Okay, so it's 40 seconds. You might get a little rush for 40 seconds. You might feel like a bird for a minute. It's true. It's true. Okay, well listen, I hope you have a good meeting, and I hope you'll support it, to at least give it a shot, to see if we can have some fun with that thing, and then we'll review it through the 90-day period, and we'll see where we go afterwards. Remember, Venice is an eclectic, iconic beach. People come from all over the world to have fun. We obviously want it to be a fun element and an exciting plus for all of us at the same time. Thanks, bless you, appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Billy.
What he's saying, because it's a trial thing, is the main thing here. But I don't agree with this Ferris wheel to ever see this in Venice. That is Anaheim. This project here, in talking a lot with the promoters of it, and their background, their integrity in being environmentally conscious is very, very important, because we are a rainforest of sorts here in Venice. And when I first heard about it, I wasn't keen on it either. But I think in their description of how they're going to run this operation is that it's going to fit into our artistic subculture. I love the idea that we'll have these canvases that local artists will be able to do our style of painting. It's not going to be something, again, it belongs in Anaheim or one of these places. It's going to be Venice art, and it'll be periodically changed. I think that we can enjoy it, as well as all of these people that have made us the #1 beach in the world, if it is done in the way that they say that it's going to be done. Now, I don't know these guys for a very long time. They may be full of it and are giving me a whole different story of what it's going to be like. But it's only 3 months. Let's give it a shot for 3 months, and we get the money. I don't know what clean bathrooms you're seeing at the beach, but I'm on that boardwalk every day. And I'll tell you, I would not invite my wife and daughter to go in one of those toilets and use that facility. And the reality of it is we don't have money to do this. This is a way of bringing money into Venice. Again, those all sound very good to me. But the best part is 3 months. If we all don't like it, we can do something about it. It's not a bad deal.
No offense to Ian Green of Flightlines, but this kind of artificial entertainment is antithetical to the appeal of Venice Beach, to say nothing of creating more nuisance in terms of noise for the residents. I'm on the Visitors Impact Committee with Clave and Matt, and I was the sole dissenter. They all approved it. They said they would meet once a month to audit and monitor the deal to make sure we're getting our fair share. Good luck, I say, because the city, the state, and the nation can't seem to do that. Now, also, I went to the city council meeting a couple of weeks ago. I took my daughter, and I barely got my final words out when the council members were yes, 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 yes. So I left disillusioned with the democratic process. But Bill's motion said, well, the Venice Neighborhood Council approved it, but you should note that the Venice Neighborhood Council approved it 8-6, almost a tie. Okay, I have to also say, no offense, but I thought it was a joke when I first heard it. And we joked around saying, oh, they should put the zip line over the canals and put alligators in the water. It just seemed like a joke. And then it was real. I think it's the, visual, because you're environmental here. Section 30251 of the Coastal Act requires protection of coastal visual resources. And this 5-story tower with a constant barrage of bodies flinging across it impedes this coastal view. And I feel, economics, financial-wise, it's the responsibility of the Department of Rec and Parks to keep our park clean without us making deals that compromise the lifestyle and integrity of the residents. Yes, people live here. Parks are a retreat from the relentless commercialization permeating today's society. Parks are core city service and do not exist to generate revenue. The zip line will open the door for future commercialization. Talking about also the restroom facilities, to me, I see it as a vicious circle. Now, Kevin Reagan of the Department of Rec and Parks says, well, they're not going to come here for this zip line. They're going to be walking around saying, oh, look, there's a zip line. But I disagree. People will come here. So you're getting money to clean the bathrooms, but you're creating more people coming here to dirty the bathrooms. So I see that vicious circle. And also, it's been confirmed. I emailed Tony Aranaga of Rosenthal's office because I heard my friend Stuart. I know a lot of people here. My friend Stuart said, fact or fiction, Lucent Dossier, who's an aerial artist, will be performing on the zip line. So I emailed Tony, and he said, fact. So then I Googled Lucent Dossier, and he does aerial acrobatics. But in the background is a live music performance, electronica music with guitars, bass drums. And we do have a noise ordinance in effect here. And that seems like it will go over the sound decibel level that we have in effect. And then, of course, lack of parking and okay, my little expression that my friend said, don't wreck our parks.
Hello, I'm Steve Friedman. I've been a Venice resident since the mid-70s. I don't know how much of the city has the memory to remember, but I believe that Mr. Doty does have the memory to remember. It took decades to build the park, which I just learned today is known as Winwood Plaza down there. And it exists as a very attractive beach park. I don't see much justification for mucking it up with amusement rides that will take. I mean, this is a big deal. I do dispute that the Parks and Rec representative today said 600 feet when all of the literature describes it as 750 feet. You might reconcile that for us later, but what we got in the mail that you gave us today says 750 feet, so, and 50 feet high. I've been a coastal advocate for a long time, and I think we really have to try as a community to protect our precious coastal resources. This thing is going to be set up in our view of the ocean and the sky and the sunset. And it's not just a point, it's about 750 feet, which will affect people looking out at the sky from a distance of greater than 750 feet if they look toward it from 7,000 feet. So I think that the city should give serious consideration to the Coastal Act, and I don't think it's consistent with the Coastal Act. I'm not going to go into details on sections. I just don't think this is a particularly good idea. I'm particularly concerned about prior and this effort to commercialize our parks. They're public parks. Public parks have never been intended to be money generators for cities, and I understand that the financial constraints going on in the city budget now, but turning parks into a revenue generator, I think, is not a good idea.
Representing the Venice Neighborhood Council's position today. The Venice Neighborhood Council has submitted a letter for your review. I don't think I want to read from the letter precisely. I can if people would like to hear it. There are 15 conditions that we have asked for in support of the zip lines. In other words, the Neighborhood Council is supporting the zip line if these 15 conditions are adhered to. The very first condition is that the permit be not for more than 3 months. 3 months, then dismantle the permit. At the end of the trial period, any permanent installation shall be subject to environmental review by the City of Los Angeles, the Coastal Commission, input from the VNC, and the community regarding the impact on the community, including without limitation noise impact, parking, visual light, security, safety, and how crowds are handled. That there be no nighttime lighting is another condition. That there be nighttime security at all times. That the operator will provide live artistic performances as they have proposed, but that noise standards are adhered to. We've also suggested that there be financial packages be available for at-risk minors who might want to use the ride. We've also asked that there be financial incentives available for people that would get people to arrive at the facility without driving their cars. Parking, biking, or walking or biking, obviously, is to be encouraged. We want at least 2/3 of the gross revenue that is received by the City of Los Angeles to go into maintenance of the park. That's critical. We have spoken to Recreation Parks on numerous occasions about doing a better job of summer maintenance, on trash cans, for example. The problem, of course, that keeps coming up is money. We believe that the environment of the park is important, and that the visual environment of the park is important. So if we can do a better job with maintaining the parks and making it a beautiful place for our visitors, with the money that is earned by the zip line, we see that as a good deal. We also ask that these rec parks create a separate account so that all revenues that they receive from the zip line and all expenditures that they make out of those revenues to help maintain the parks is accounted for. We can see the books, and we can talk about it on a regular basis. We have asked for monthly meetings so that we can resolve any discrepancies on the books, or that we can resolve any operational problems, such as too much noise. We've asked that the artistic classes that the operator has suggested would be offered, be offered. No signage, of course. We don't want any for-profit or commercial signage in the park. We would like to see the artistic shrouding of the towers that has been suggested, that would be provided by the rooms. And just to kind of get to the bottom line, we also don't want the observation wheel and that it be brought back in any form. This letter, as I said, has been introduced in the record. I have extra copy for you if you'd like to see it now. There are a few copies for
project. Everybody keeps talking about 3 months. My fear is that in 3 months they're gonna ask, am I making enough money? Does it meet our money standards? And that's going to be all it is that in 3 months, that's what your trial period is going to be. How is it going to, are they going to consider in 3 months the impact that it has on the residents of Venice? The noise, the sound issue, it's a major thing for me. Over a week ago, there was a party up near Pacific and Windward. That party rattled my house. I live 3 blocks from Windward Plaza. The bass in that over-amplified music rattled my house for hours. Because of the sound laws, I could not call the police until after 11:30. When I called them, they said, oh, we'll connect you with communications, they'll dispatch somebody to solve your problem. After 30 minutes, waiting on the line, hearing our lines are busy in English, Spanish, and squawk from hearing impaired, and nobody picking up for 30 minutes, I hung up. Finally, about 20 minutes after I hung up, the music did stop. Perhaps somebody who lives closer to the beach actually made it through. So I'm extremely concerned about this undefined, cutting-edge performance and how you really are going to take into consideration the residents, because I truly believe from my experience the city won't answer its phone to solve the problems when they do break the laws. Just generally, here is how the beach impacts my street. The case of beer, the garbage on the street. This is midweek on my street. This is the day of the cleanup from the city. Besides the case of beer, there was all the broken glass there from the vandals. It's not, they just don't leave their beer bottles. They actually purposefully break the glass so that the cars have to drive over broken glass. So I'm out there every week cleaning up the glass from the people who do go to the beach. And I realize that's part of the problem of living at the beach. I wish the city assisted us more in cleaning some of this up. But because of that, are you seriously want to add thousands more people coming to Venice? We're already impacted by the beach, and now you're trying to bring in thousands more for a $20 zip line over concrete. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm upset that once again the City of Los Angeles is interested in using Venice as a money-making operation. We're already taxed. Not only are we taxed as property owners, we're taxed as residents of Venice because I'm out there every week cleaning up the broken glass at my curb. I'm using my trash can, my trash barrels, my garbage cans. This is an extra tax, emotionally and financially already on the people who live in Venice. And so for all the money you're getting in, you're not giving it to us. Back to us to handle thousands more people using the bathrooms, and money just goes to hire more people to clean the bathrooms. We already have that issue as a problem, and it's being addressed. The money is going, what, just the bathrooms? What about the rest of us? It's
okay.
So, what can I say? The zip line, the Ferris wheel, they're bad ideas. Santa Monica has a separate area. set aside for its amusement park. Costa Rica's zip line was in a private rainforest. Disneyland has parking and toilets. That's where the amusement park people go. We're a beach. Venice doesn't have the amenities to handle the extra people. It doesn't have the parking. Where's the extra parking, the security, the cleanup? Where are you providing all these things? I don't see that especially. I hear about security for the zip towers. I don't see the parking for the beach. I just think that the whole thing is bad planning and it's a bad idea.
Well, I have to say, I didn't think about all of the things that you're bringing up. And I think it's good that we're here talking about all of these things because I do believe that there's solutions. And on top of that, I feel like we're at a point where we can't depend on the governments to protect our parks because parks are closing down all around the country. We're losing funding. When this idea was presented to me, I saw it as an opportunity to be able to bring something positive and to be able to create a platform for local artists and to create funding for the local community to clean the beaches. I used to go for runs along the beach with trash bags and pick up the trash from the tourists. I remember my first place here was in the Waldorf, and coming home one day and the whole front of my door was covered in paper plates because of the food court that's right there. And there was this woman sitting there with her kids, and I watched her take the paper plate and set it on the ground. And I looked at her and I said, how can you do that? Don't you understand where all of that trash is going? You come here because this place is beautiful and then you trash it. And I started picking up all the people's trash. And that family got up and they started picking up the trash with me. So it's really hard for me to hear that because the last thing I want to do is contribute in a negative way. I don't believe that this has to be a negative thing. One thing that keeps coming up for me when I hear everyone talking is that we need to create a fund that goes to the local community, that the Venice Community Council, that they have say over where that fund goes. I see you saying no.
We can have this dialogue later. But again, I don't live on the Walk Street. I don't live at Speedway. I live 3 blocks from the beach, and I am radically impacted, as I am by the beach, as I said.
It was to bring an interactive experience, to create these blank canvases where local artists could display their art. We really came at this wanting to support the local community, not take away from the local community. And I just want to be really clear about that to all of you because I really do understand your concerns. I have fought for parking spaces.
I have lived in this community almost 30 years.
Well, now come on, baby, darling, don't you wanna